A quiet evening settles around this moment. There is a weariness that has followed the day into the soft hours of night. A guarded tenderness rests within the heart, holding what has been carried for so long. There is a longing to be heard without needing to explain. A desire to rest without effort. The room grows dim. Lamplight low. Shadows gentle. The world slows. And bedtime draws near. Hands rest where they fall. Shoulders loosen a little more. The jaw softens. Breath eases in and out. Eyes grow heavy. The body settles into the surface beneath it. If these prayers bring you peace, take a moment to like this video, subscribe for more nightly prayers, and share where you're listening from tonight. Your presence and words help keep this space gentle and growing. Now, take another slow breath. Let us begin this prayer together. Holy God, in this quiet hour, a humble heart comes before you, not with polished words, not with strength, only with honesty, and the still desire to be near. The night feels safe in your presence. The noise of the day fades, and sacred stillness takes its place. You are the God who leans close to the lowly, the one who listens when voices grow soft, the one who notices the desires that remain unspoken. You hear the gentle movements of the heart. You receive the longings that have no shape yet. Nothing offered in humility is overlooked by you. As the evening breeze moves quietly through olive branches, as still water reflects starlight without effort, so your nearness surrounds this prayer. There is no need to strive, no need to be more than what is already seen by you. You welcome the humble heart, and you listen. Your care is present here, steady and kind. Your attention rests like a covering through the night. Peace is not demanded. It is given. Rest is not earned. It is received. Safety is found simply by being near you. In this sacred calm, the soul is allowed to settle, to breathe, to trust, to rest in the gentle assurance that every quiet desire is heard, that every humble offering is held, that this night is watched over by your faithful love. The quiet deepens as the night continues to unfold. There is no rush in this moment, no demand placed upon the heart, only an invitation to soften a little more, to allow the layers of the day to gently fall away, one by one. A heart rests here before you, aware of its own smallness, and unafraid of it. There is relief in not needing to appear strong, relief in being humble in your presence, relief in knowing that low places are not hidden from you. Breath moves slowly now, like a soft wind passing through a quiet valley. In and out, each breath loosening what has been held too tightly, each breath creating space for peace to settle. God of tender listening, you draw near without noise. You approach without weight. Your attention does not overwhelm. It reassures. You hear the desire of the humble heart, not as a distant observer, but as a gentle guardian. There are thoughts that begin to quiet, worries that lose their sharp edges, concerns that no longer need answers tonight. They rest beside still water, watched over, held safely beyond this moment. In the hush of this prayer, the soul learns again how to bow, not in fear, but in trust, not in heaviness, but in rest. To bow is simply to stop striving, to allow you to be God, and to be held. Like lamplight glowing softly in a darkened room, your presence does not strain the eyes. It comforts them. It makes shadows gentle. It tells the heart that nothing is required now but rest. You hear the longing beneath the silence, the hope beneath the tiredness, the quiet desire to be known and kept. There is no need to shape these desires into words. You understand their language already. As the night air cools, as the world outside grows still, so the inner world begins to mirror that calm. Muscles release. Thoughts slow. The heart settles into humility that feels like peace. There is safety here. Safety in being small before a God who is kind. Safety in trusting that every whispered desire has reached your ears. Safety in knowing that this moment is enough. The night continues. The prayer continues. And rest begins to draw closer. Not as something to chase, but as a gift gently offered in your presence. The remnants of the day begin to loosen their hold. Moments once sharp soften at the edges. Memories settle like leaves resting on quiet ground. Nothing needs to be revisited now. Nothing needs to be solved before sleep arrives. There is a gentle releasing taking place. An offering of what has been carried. Not forced. Not hurried. Simply placed into hands far more steady than these. The heart exhales, knowing it does not have to hold everything through the night. God who hears even the faintest desire. You receive what is given without judgment. You welcome what is unfinished. You gather what feels fragile. Your nearness does not rush the process. It honors it. Breath slows again, like water easing along a smooth stone path. In and out. Each movement quieter than the last. Each breath creating room for trust to grow. There are concerns that once demanded attention. Now they rest at a distance. Not denied. Not dismissed. Simply entrusted to a time beyond this moment. They are safe enough to wait. Because you are listening. A humble heart opens quietly before you. Not wide. Not exposed. Just enough to let peace enter. Just enough to let rest be possible. You never require more than what can be given. In the stillness, there is a sense of being noticed. Not watched. but attended to, like a shepherd aware of each resting place, like a presence that remains even when words fade. The night feels spacious now, starlight unseen yet present, a calm that does not need explanation. The body responds to this gentleness, settling deeper, growing heavier, more at ease. You hear the desire of the humble heart, even when it cannot name itself, even when it is little more than a sigh. Nothing offered in quiet trust is lost to you. Everything is gathered into your care. Thoughts grow fewer. Spaces between them widen. Silence becomes kind. And in that silence, reassurance rests. The reassurance that this prayer is heard, that this heart is known, that this night is held. There is no striving here, only waiting, only resting, only allowing the calm of your presence to continue its gentle work, preparing the soul for deeper peace. The quiet continues to unfold, and surrender becomes easier, like hands loosening their grip, like eyes closing without effort, like trust settling naturally into place. The evening continues to soften its edges. Light grows warmer, quieter. The world outside feels farther away, as though distance itself has learned how to be gentle. This moment stretches without urgency, allowing the heart to slow at its own pace. There is a subtle easing within the body, weight settling downward, muscles remembering how to release, breath moving like a calm tide, in and out, nothing forced, nothing held, only allowed. A humble stillness gathers here before you, not empty, but open, not striving, but resting. This heart does not arrive with answers. It arrives with trust. Thin perhaps, but sincere. And that is enough in your presence. God who hears the quietest desire. You do not turn away from small prayers. You do not overlook the unspoken. You draw close to the lowly without drawing attention. Your nearness feels like shade at the end of a long day, like cool evening air after lingering warmth. The thoughts that once wandered now slow their steps. They pass through more quietly, lingering less, leaving wider spaces between them. Silence begins to feel safe, not empty, but held. As lamplight rests softly without flicker, as shadows lengthen without threat, so your presence remains steady, unchanging, unhurried. There is comfort in knowing nothing must be done to keep you near. The heart lowers its guard a little more, releasing the need to be vigilant, releasing the habit of bracing for tomorrow. Tonight does not ask for readiness, only for rest, only for trust that what waits can wait a little longer. Breath becomes prayer without words, a rhythm of receiving and releasing. Each inhale a quiet welcome, Each exhale a gentle surrender. The body listens to this peace and responds by settling further into it. You hear the desire beneath the breath, the longing to be safe, the hope to be kept through the night, the wish to rest without fear of being forgotten. Nothing about this humility is hidden from you. Nothing is too small for your attention. The night deepens. Sound fades. Awareness softens. And a sense of being held grows stronger than the need to understand. Trust does not arrive loudly. It settles quietly, like dusk becoming night. There is room now for deeper calm. Room for the heart to sink gently into assurance. Room for the soul to stop measuring itself. To simply remain. To rest in the truth that being humble before you is a place of safety. This prayer continues like a slow river. Uninterrupted. Unforced. Carrying the heart toward stiller waters. Toward rest that asks nothing in return. Trust begins to settle more fully now, not as a sudden change, but as a gradual easing, like evening air cooling the ground without announcement. The heart notices the difference only because it feels lighter. There is less holding, less guarding, less preparing for what has not yet come. The body recognizes this gentleness and follows it willingly, sinking deeper into rest. A humble presence remains before you, quiet, attentive, no longer reaching, simply staying. This staying feels safe, because you are here, and you are listening. God who inclines toward the lowly. You welcome this stillness as prayer. You receive this quiet as offering. You honor the desire that rests beneath the calm. Even now, when words are no longer needed, breath flows like a soft wind through open fields. Unhurried, unbroken. Each rise and fall carrying a sense of permission. Permission to stop striving. Permission to be held exactly as this moment allows. The mind grows quieter. Thoughts drift like clouds thinning at nightfall. They pass without asking to be followed, without demanding attention. Awareness gently turns inward, toward peace that does not need explanation. As still water reflects the darkening sky, so the soul reflects your nearness. Nothing added, nothing forced. Just a quiet mirroring of calm, a resting in what already is. You hear the desire of the humble heart, the desire to be known, to be kept, to be remembered through the night. This desire rests safely with you. It does not need to repeat itself. You have already heard. The night continues its slow unfolding. Time stretches softly. The edges of awareness blur just enough. Not into absence, but into ease. Like hands unclenching after a long day. There is no fear in this slowing. Only trust deepening. Trust that nothing essential will be lost in rest. Trust that your care does not sleep, even as the body begins to drift toward it. A quiet assurance settles in the chest, steady, warm, like lamplight left on through the night. This assurance does not speak loudly. It simply remains. And that is enough. The prayer flows on, gentle, continuous, carrying the heart toward deeper surrender, toward a rest that feels less like letting go, and more like being gently gathered. The quiet now feels fuller, not empty, but gently inhabited by peace. The kind of peace that does not announce itself. It simply arrives and stays. There is a loosening that continues, a soft release of the need to manage the unseen. What once felt necessary to hold now rests more easily. The heart learns that surrender does not mean loss. It means being carried. A humble offering rises without words, not placed forward with effort, but allowed to surface naturally. This offering is trust, small, sincere, enough for this moment, and welcomed by you. God who hears the quiet desire. You receive surrender without pressure. You do not rush the yielding of the heart. You draw near in ways that respect its tenderness. Your presence never overwhelms. It reassures. Breath grows even slower now, like a tide reaching its calmest point. In and out. Each movement softer, each pause longer, as though time itself has learned to be gentle. Thoughts no longer gather with urgency. They appear briefly, then dissolve, leaving behind a wide stillness. A stillness that feels watched over. A stillness that does not need to defend itself. As olive trees stand quietly beneath starlight, rooted, unmoving, so the soul stands in your care, grounded not by effort, but by trust in your steady attention. You hear what has been surrendered, even what was never clearly named. The small hopes, the tender worries, the desires that felt too fragile to speak, all are gathered into your listening presence. The night holds this prayer gently. Sound is minimal. Awareness drifts lower, deeper into the body, deeper into rest. The boundary between prayer and breathing begins to blur. There is comfort in this quiet. Comfort in knowing that surrender does not mean abandonment. It means closeness. It means being met where strength ends and care begins. The heart no longer resists the stillness. It rests within it, like a child leaning into quiet arms, safe enough to stop watching, safe enough to simply be. This surrender feels complete for now, not because everything is resolved, but because everything has been placed where it belongs, in your faithful keeping, where the humble desire of the heart is heard and held. The prayer continues softly, flowing toward deeper rest, toward a calm that does not require attention, toward a peace that carries the soul forward into the night. A deeper stillness settles now, the kind that comes when nothing is being held back, when surrender has found a gentle resting place. The night feels closer, more intimate, as though the world has leaned away to make room for peace. Breath moves almost on its own, slow, steady, barely noticed. Each inhale quiet, each exhale softer still. The body knows how to rest, and remembers. There is a yielding that continues within the heart. Not dramatic, not sudden, just a quiet allowing, an unfastening of what once felt necessary to protect. Trust growing in the spaces left behind. God who listens without interruption. You receive the hidden parts of surrender, the parts that release without words, the parts that soften only in the safety of your presence. Nothing is rushed. Nothing is overlooked. Thoughts drift through like distant echoes. They no longer linger. They no longer pull. Awareness settles lower, closer to the rhythm of breath, closer to the calm beneath all effort. As a soft wind passes through open fields at night, so peace moves through this prayer, unseen, gentle, leaving behind a quiet sense of order, a reassurance that nothing is out of place. You hear the desire of the humble heart. Even now, even here, as the mind grows quiet and the body heavy, your attention does not fade with awareness. It remains constant, watchful, kind. The night holds steady, dark without threat, still without loneliness. The soul rests within this calm like water in a sheltered place, unmoving, untroubled, content to remain. There is less distinction now between prayer and rest. Words soften, meaning settles beneath them. The prayer becomes a presence rather than a sentence, a nearness that does not require sound. The heart feels safe enough to stop reaching, safe enough to stop measuring, safe enough to rest in what has already been given. Humility no longer feels small. It feels spacious, like an open night sky. Breath continues, slow, quiet, carrying the body deeper into stillness, carrying the soul further into trust. The weight of the day fully released now, left behind without regret. You remain here, listening, attentive, holding every surrendered desire without needing to respond with words. Your presence is the answer, and it is enough. The prayer drifts onward, gentle, unbroken, leading the heart toward deeper calm, toward rest that feels natural, toward peace that does not need to be maintained. Rest deepens without effort now. There is no sense of moving forward, only of sinking gently inward. as though the soul has found a quiet hollow where it can remain undisturbed. The night wraps this moment in softness. The body grows heavier, supported fully. Nothing held upright by will. Nothing braced against what might come. Muscles relax in layers, letting go one small place at a time. A humble stillness rests before you. Not seeking, not asking, simply being present. This presence itself feels like prayer, and you receive it with kindness. God who hears without requiring words. You welcome this rest from striving. You honor the soul that no longer pushes, that no longer tries to carry more than it can. Your care surrounds what has finally been set down. Breath becomes slow and shallow, like air barely moving through a quiet room. In, out, each breath blending into the next, each pause lingering a little longer, as though time itself has grown drowsy. Thoughts thin even more. They pass like faint ripples across still water, hardly noticed, hardly remembered. Awareness drifts just enough to feel peaceful, not lost, only resting. As starlight rests unseen above quiet valleys, so your attention rests here, unwavering, gentle, not pressing in, simply remaining. You hear the desire of the humble heart, even as desire fades into calm, even as longing softens into trust. What was once held tightly now rests freely in you, and nothing needs to be reclaimed. The night feels steady, protective, kind. There is no sense of being alone in this darkness, only a sense of being covered, watched over without interruption. The prayer no longer feels spoken. It feels breathed. It feels lived in the spaces between thought and sleep. Meaning settles beneath consciousness, where it does not need to be remembered to remain true. The heart rests without guarding now. Humility has opened into peace. Trust has become weightless. The soul lies still, unconcerned with progress, content to remain where it is held. Breath continues quietly, steady, familiar, guiding the body closer to sleep, guiding the soul deeper into calm. There is no effort here, only gentle allowance. This rest is enough for this moment. This stillness sufficient. You remain near, listening, holding, as the prayer carries on into deeper quiet. The night stretches quietly around this space. Shadows linger softly without pressure. The body feels the gentle weight of the day released. Muscles unwind further. Bones sink into the support beneath them. Every exhale loosens what remains tense. Every inhale draws in the calm that waits patiently. There is a yielding of the heart now. Not sudden, not forced. A gentle surrender that moves like water into a low place. The mind slows its insistence. allowing stillness to rise naturally. A humble trust blooms quietly within the soul. God who hears the unspoken, who listens to what is whispered only in the depths of the heart. Draw near to this quiet. Fill the spaces between each breath with your presence. No words are necessary, only your faithful attention. Breath flows like soft wind through olive trees at dusk. In, out. Every pause lengthening just enough for peace to deepen. Every cycle carrying a sense of safety. A reassurance that nothing needs fixing tonight. Thoughts that once clung tightly drift gently past. They no longer demand attention. No longer shape the rhythm of the heart. Awareness rests lightly upon what is true. That you are near. That the humble are seen. That desires spoken softly reach your ears. The night grows even quieter. Each sound fades into distant murmurs. Even the self seems less urgent. Only presence remains. The presence of this humble heart before you, and your unwavering care surrounding it. You hear the longing that is now nearly wordless. The wish to be known, to be kept safe through the hours of darkness, to simply rest without effort or expectation. All of it rises to you as a gentle offering, and all of it is received with love. The body rests further into stillness. The chest rises and falls in a slow, easy rhythm. The mind drifts toward a quiet space between thoughts. The soul softens into the knowing of your attention. Each inhale a welcome. Each exhale a surrender. Like starlight resting over a quiet valley. So your nearness covers this prayer. It does not press. It does not demand. It simply holds. A steady presence that welcomes humility without conditions. The prayer continues its gentle current, carrying the heart toward deeper release, toward surrender that feels like air, toward a trust that is unspoken yet fully known, toward peace that does not need to be earned. The soul leans further into this calm, no longer resisting, no longer guarding, simply receiving the care that has been offered all along, and allowing rest to become a companion rather than a goal. The stillness deepens again, almost imperceptibly, like night settling more fully after twilight has already passed. There is no edge to this calm, only a widening sense of ease, as though the soul has found a quiet depth where it can remain undisturbed. Breath continues its gentle rhythm, barely rising, barely falling, each movement unhurried, each pause resting longer than the last. The body follows this rhythm willingly, letting rest guide it further inward. A humble confidence begins to rest here, not confidence in strength, but in being heard. The heart trusts that its quiet desires have reached you, and that they remain held, even now, even here. God who listens with patience, you are near in this stillness. Your presence does not interrupt. It surrounds. You hear the longing beneath the calm, the desire to remain safe, to remain held, to remain at rest. Thoughts are few now, and those that appear move slowly, like clouds barely visible against a darkening sky. They drift, they fade, leaving behind a wide-open quiet where peace can settle. As still water reflects the night without disturbance, so the soul reflects your nearness. Nothing stirred, nothing unsettled, only a quiet awareness that you are here, and that this is enough. The night feels kind, protective in its silence. There is no sense of being watched from afar, only the comfort of being gently attended to, as one who is known, as one who is cherished in humility. You hear the desire of the humble heart, not once, but continuously. Your attention does not drift as awareness fades. It remains steady through every quiet moment, through every soft breath, through every inch of rest that deepens. The body grows heavier still, limbs resting without effort, the face relaxed, the jaw loose. Even the smallest tensions begin to dissolve, giving way to the pull of sleep. The prayer has almost become silence, words no longer necessary, meaning carried beneath them. In this near stillness, trust does not need to be repeated. It simply remains. The soul rests here, humble, heard, unafraid, held within a peace that does not ask to be understood, only received. The quiet continues to expand, inviting deeper rest, inviting the body to drift closer to sleep, inviting the heart to remain where it is safe, under your listening care, through the night. A resting presence settles gently over this moment, not new, but more deeply felt, like realizing the quiet has been there all along, waiting patiently for the heart to notice. Breath continues softly, almost unnoticed now. Each rise and fall steady, unconcerned with time. The body follows its own quiet wisdom, drifting further into ease. There is no effort left in the prayer, only nearness, only remaining. A humble heart rests here, not seeking reassurance, because reassurance has already arrived. God who abides with the lowly, you remain close in this stillness. Your presence is not distant. It is felt in the calm that holds everything together, in the silence that does not feel empty, but gently full. Thoughts have slowed to a whisper, appearing briefly, then fading, no longer pulling awareness upward. The soul settles downward, into a place of quiet knowing, a place where trust rests without needing words. As a quiet valley rests beneath the night sky, so this heart rests beneath your care, unmoving, untroubled, held in a watchfulness that does not disturb. a protection that does not intrude. You hear the desire of the humble heart. Even now, even as awareness softens, your listening does not depend on alertness. It remains constant, faithful, through every moment of rest. The night feels wide and gentle. There is room to breathe, room to be still, room to rest without needing to be anything more. Nothing presses in. Nothing demands attention. The body settles further, heaviness becoming comfort, stillness becoming safety. Sleep begins to feel close, not as a threshold to cross, but as a gentle continuation of this calm. The prayer has become presence, a quiet abiding rather than spoken thought. Meaning rests beneath awareness, secure, undisturbed, held within your nearness. The heart remains humble here, not small, but open, trusting that being heard does not require effort. Trusting that being held does not require wakefulness. Trusting that rest is safe in your care. The quiet lingers, inviting the soul to remain, inviting the body to drift, inviting peace to deepen without interruption. As the night continues to hold this prayer gently, a soft calm fills the space now, like the hush that comes after the day exhales. The heart feels lighter, not because burdens are gone, but because they are being held elsewhere, in a presence that does not tire, in a love that does not waver. Breath moves slowly, in and out, each one a gentle wave, drawing the body closer to stillness, drawing the mind closer to trust, drawing the soul into quiet assurance. There is a quiet joy here, not loud or bright, but steady, like lamplight glowing softly across a calm room, like starlight reflected on still water. It does not demand attention. It simply rests alongside every inhale and exhale. God who hears the humble. You attend to what is small, what is unspoken, what exists only in longing. You gather it all into your care, and in this care, the soul begins to smile quietly, even without words, even without thought. Thoughts drift like leaves on a gentle stream, no longer clinging, no longer swirling. They pass, and leave behind a sense of ease, a peace that does not need to be named, only felt, only breathed into the heart. As the evening breeze passes softly through olive branches, so your presence passes through this moment, unseen, yet tangible, calm, protective, tender. You hear the desire of the humble heart, the longing to be seen, the longing to be kept safe, the longing to rest without worry or striving. All of it rises quietly to you, and all of it is received without interruption. The night stretches wider, the shadows deepen, the soul rests fully within your attentive care. There is no fear, there is no striving, only presence, only being, only trust. The body follows this calm, releasing tension layer by layer, becoming heavier, yet lighter, held, supported, embraced by stillness. The prayer flows on like soft water, continuous, unbroken, carrying the heart toward even deeper peace, toward a trust that feels effortless, toward rest that feels safe. The soul leans further into this quiet joy, a calm contentment that does not need words, that does not need explanation. It simply is, a humble heart resting in the gentle attention of God. A gentle peace settles more fully now, not sudden, not loud, but steady, like the soft glow of starlight across a quiet valley. It stretches through the body, through the mind, through the soul, filling every space with calm. Breath flows slowly, in and out, each pause longer than the last, each movement carrying a sense of ease. The body responds, relaxing further, trusting the rhythm that requires nothing but presence. There is a quiet dwelling in your nearness, a stillness that does not demand words, a sense of being fully known, fully attended, even when thoughts are few, even when the heart is only a whisper. You are present, watching over what is gentle and humble, God who hears without distraction, who attends to every small longing, even those that cannot be named, even those that feel fragile. You gather them, holding them carefully, and in this holding, the soul feels safe enough to rest. Thoughts have slowed almost to silence. What remains is the quiet joy of being near, the gentle satisfaction of being fully received. No need to act, no need to speak, only to remain, to trust, to be still. As still water mirrors the night sky, so the soul mirrors your attention, steady, unmoving, constant, each inhale bringing calm, each exhale releasing the last trace of tension. You hear the desires of the humble heart, even now, even as sleep begins to brush the edges of awareness. All longing is tenderly received, all need is met simply by your presence. No effort required, no striving necessary. The night holds the body completely, every limb softened, every muscle released, every thought allowed to drift without insistence. The soul floats in this quiet assurance, carried by a love that does not falter. The prayer flows like the slow passage of a quiet river, continuous, gentle, unhurried, leading the heart deeper into rest, leading the mind into peaceful surrender, leading the soul into trust that does not demand understanding. This presence now feels like home, a humble heart resting safely, held entirely by your care, protected in the quiet, embraced by the faithful attention of God. The night itself feels sacred, and the soul rests willingly within it. A deeper quiet settles into place now, not arriving, but revealing itself, as though peace has been waiting beneath everything all along. The soul recognizes it, and rests more fully within it. Breath remains slow and gentle, barely lifting, barely falling, each pause stretching comfortably. The body no longer resists this rhythm. It follows it naturally, trusting the stillness that holds it. There is a sense of being gently covered, like night air resting evenly across the land. Nothing presses in, nothing pulls away. The heart remains humble here, open, unguarded, at ease. God who keeps watch without stirring sleep. You remain near in this quiet dwelling. Your presence does not disturb rest. It deepens it. It steadies it. It assures the soul that nothing has been missed. Thoughts are now like distant echoes, soft, far away. They rise briefly, then fade, leaving behind a wide calm where awareness rests lightly. No effort required to stay here. No effort required to remain. As olive trees stand silently beneath the stars, so the soul stands quietly in your care, rooted not in strength, but in trust, held not by vigilance, but by faithful nearness. You hear the desire of the humble heart, even now, even as desire itself softens into contentment. What was once longing becomes rest. What was once asking becomes receiving. all without words, all without strain. The night feels steady, kind, protective in its stillness. Sleep feels close, not as something to reach for, but as something gently approaching, on its own quiet path. The body settles even deeper, supported fully, heavy in the most peaceful way. Every place of tension now released, every small effort allowed to fall away. Nothing remains to be held. The prayer continues without sound, living now beneath awareness, where trust rests naturally, where peace does not need to be remembered to remain true, where God's listening presence does not waver. The heart stays humble here, not small, but safe, resting in the assurance that being heard does not require wakefulness, that being kept does not require attention, that this night is fully held. Stillness lingers, inviting deeper rest, inviting the soul to remain exactly where it is. As sleep draws nearer, as peace settles completely, as the prayer continues quietly into the night. A profound stillness surrounds this moment, not sudden, not forced, but steady and unwavering, like the soft hush that descends over a quiet valley at night. The soul recognizes this calm and leans into it willingly. Breath flows with ease, slow, gentle, each inhale welcoming, each exhale releasing. The body sinks further, every part resting without effort, every part trusting the rhythm of peace. There is a quiet sense of being fully known, not through words, not through action, but through presence. A humble heart lies open, held securely, under watchful and tender care. God who listens without interruption. Your presence surrounds even the smallest desires, even those that have not been voiced, even those that have been tucked away in the corners of the heart. You gather them, and in that gathering, the soul rests freely. Thoughts float like distant stars, faint, soft, appearing briefly, then fading into the background, leaving a wide, untroubled quiet, where trust grows naturally, where rest becomes easy, as starlight drifts across still water, so your presence drifts through this prayer, softly, gently, filling every space with assurance, providing safety without effort, offering rest without demand. The desire of the humble heart rises quietly, not urgent, not insistent, and is met with faithful attention, every longing received tenderly, every hope held gently. The soul feels fully safe in this care. The night continues to envelop the body, heavy and comforting, each muscle softened, each thought slowing, the heart resting without needing to measure or protect, the mind allowing itself to drift lightly toward peace. This prayer has become a quiet presence, not spoken aloud, but carried in each breath, in each pause, in the soft rhythm of rest that now fills the space. It flows seamlessly into the soul, offering comfort and calm without effort. Humility rests here as strength, not diminished, but opened, freed from the need to strive, embraced fully by the attentive care of God, held safely through the still hours of night. The body, mind, and heart move closer to sleep, not forced, not hurried, but drawn naturally, into the peace that has been gently offered all along, into the rest that is already present. The night draws even closer now, soft and enveloping, like a quiet blanket draped gently over the land. The body feels the weight of the day fully released, every muscle relaxed, every joint softened, each breath carrying deeper calm. Humility rests quietly in the heart, not as weakness, but as surrender, a letting go that is gentle, allowing God's care to hold what cannot be held alone, trust rising naturally with each slow inhale, peace deepening with each exhale. God who listens to the quiet desires, you are present in the spaces between thought and awareness, attending without intrusion, holding without pressure, watching over every soft longing, every whispered hope, even the desires that have no words. Thoughts drift like clouds across a starlit sky, soft, slow, dispersing easily. They no longer command attention. The soul leans into stillness, where trust and rest meet naturally, where sleep begins to brush its gentle hand over awareness. The body grows heavier, not weighed down, but cradled in ease, each exhale releasing tension, each inhale inviting quiet comfort. The chest rises and falls in a rhythm that carries the soul toward gentle sleep. As the evening breeze flows through olive branches, so your presence flows through this moment, soft, continuous, filling the spaces around the heart with reassurance, calming every shadow of worry, easing every lingering thought. The humble heart is heard fully, even as it grows quieter, even as longing softens into contentment. There is nothing more to ask, nothing more to prove, only the gentle resting in your faithful attention. Sleep feels near, not a task, not a goal, but a natural continuation of the peace already present, a surrender that feels safe, a letting go that carries the soul effortlessly. This prayer now drifts softly toward rest, flowing seamlessly with the rhythm of breath, flowing with the quiet of night, flowing into the calm that prepares the heart to release fully into sleep. The soul leans into the gentle nearness of God, no longer needing effort, no longer needing awareness, only receiving, only being, only resting. The edge of sleep begins to brush gently against awareness. A soft hush settles over the mind. The body feels its own weight fully carried, muscles loose, limbs heavy, every part responding to the quiet that surrounds it. Breath drifts slowly, in and out, each pause lingering, each inhale a quiet invitation, each exhale a gentle surrender, the rhythm itself becoming prayer, carrying the soul closer to the border of rest. There is a soft releasing of all effort, all striving, all lingering thoughts, even the quiet wish to remain alert fades. The heart leans completely into trust, into the care that has been faithfully present all along, God who listens without pause. You hold the humble heart tenderly, every unspoken desire, every soft longing, every hope that cannot find words, all are gathered and cradled in your attentive presence, and the soul rests within that embrace. Thoughts now move like distant stars, faint, scattered, appearing only to dissolve immediately into the wide calm. Awareness softens, edges blur, and a sense of weightless peace begins to take hold. As starlight touches the tips of olive branches, so your presence touches the edges of consciousness, not pressing, not demanding, simply steady, gentle, faithful, allowing sleep to come without resistance. The humble heart is quiet, not restless, not alert, simply safe, held in the nearness of God, protected, comforted, prepared for the rest that is about to unfold. Sleep approaches softly, not hurried, not forced. It is welcomed, it is gentle and natural. Continuation of the calm that already fills this moment. Breath and prayer flow together, each exhale releasing, each inhale receiving. The rhythm becomes a bridge, from wakefulness into slumber, from trust into peaceful surrender. The soul leans closer into stillness, no longer resisting, no longer holding, only resting, only being, only receiving the gentle care of God. The border between wakefulness and sleep grows soft, a gentle dimming of awareness spreads. The body feels heavy, fully supported, muscles loosen completely, limbs rest without thought, every exhale carrying the last threads of tension away. Breath becomes a quiet current, slow, steady, in and out, each pause lingering just long enough to hold the heart in calm. each movement a gentle reminder of trust, each sigh a soft surrender into rest. There is no striving here, no need to hold on, no need to monitor the mind. The soul leans into the tender nearness of God, every desire of the humble heart met, every longing cradled without question. God who watches over the quiet. You are present in this in-between, where thoughts are soft, where words fade, where the body drifts closer to sleep. Your faithful attention remains, steady, unshaken. The mind drifts lightly, like leaves floating on a still pond. No urgency, no pull, only gentle movement, only trust, only the peace that comes from being wholly held. As the night air moves softly through quiet valleys, so your presence moves through this space, unseen, yet fully felt, calming every lingering worry, assuring every part of the soul that rest is safe, that peace is already given. The humble heart grows still, not tense, not vigilant, only soft, only trusting, only resting in the awareness of God's nearness. Sleep draws ever closer, not sudden, not urgent, but gentle, patient, flowing naturally from the calm that surrounds the body and soul. The prayer has become presence, quiet, continuous, a rhythm carried by breath, by stillness, by trust, guiding the soul gently towards sleep. The body, mind, and heart lean fully into this moment, no longer holding, no longer striving, only receiving, only being, only resting in God's faithful care. A tender blessing settles over this quiet hour, soft and gentle, like starlight spilling across still waters. The body feels wholly supported, the mind rests easily, the heart opens fully, and the soul receives peace without effort. Breath flows slowly, in and out, each pause a gentle reminder of God's nearness, each movement carrying the assurance that nothing is lost, nothing forgotten. All humble desires are held, all prayers, spoken or unspoken, gathered tenderly into care. God who watches over the lowly, who hears even the quietest longing, bless this heart with stillness, bless it with the comfort of being known, bless it with the gentle assurance of protection through the night. The soul rests in this faithful care, every lingering worry softened, every anxious thought eased, every tender hope cradled. The night itself becomes a companion, steady, safe, a quiet witness to your sustaining presence. Breath becomes prayer without words, a rhythm of giving and receiving, a flow of trust and surrender. Each exhale releasing what cannot be held, each inhale receiving what has already been offered, as soft wind moves through olive trees, as lamplight glows quietly in the distance, so your blessing rests over the body, over the mind, over the heart, calming every tremor of unrest, steadying every shadow of fear, filling every space with peace. The humble heart is secure here, held without demand, watched over without interruption. Every desire answered simply by your attentive presence, every longing met with care and faithfulness. The night grows fuller around this prayer. The body sinks deeper into its support. The mind drifts closer to unbroken sleep. The soul leans further into calm surrender, all parts resting fully in your gentle protection. Sleep draws near, not as a task, not as a goal, but as a gift, offered freely through your care, inviting the body, mind, and soul into rest. This blessing holds the heart now, tender, quiet, continuous, a shield of peace across the night, a soft covering over every worry, a gentle assurance that the humble are heard and kept. The night now carries the final hush of the day, a quietness that spreads gently through body and soul. The heart rests fully, the mind drifts into stillness, every muscle softened, every thought slowing, every breath a gentle rhythm of trust and calm. God who hears the humble, you have gathered every small longing, every quiet desire, every tender hope, and held it tenderly throughout the hours of evening. Now, the soul leans completely into your care, knowing there is nothing more to do, nothing more to strive for, only to rest. Bless this night. Bless the sleep that comes. Bless the body with comfort and ease. Bless the mind with quiet assurance. Bless the heart with peace that does not waver. Bless the soul with your faithful presence, ever near, ever gentle, ever true. Breath becomes a soft lullaby, rising, falling, a quiet echo of the trust that has been offered all along, every exhale releasing, every inhale receiving, the body sinking deeper, the soul floating closer, the heart fully at rest, as starlight touches the still earth, as the night air whispers through quiet valleys, so your presence remains, unchanging, protective, gentle, covering every fragile desire, holding every humble heart, guiding all into peaceful sleep. The prayer has become silence, and in this silence, there is blessing, there is protection, there is the quiet, steady nearness of God. Nothing is required, nothing is demanded. Rest comes as a gift, freely given, and the soul receives it fully. Sleep now flows gently, not forced, not hurried. It arrives naturally, a calm continuation of this sacred peace, a gentle settling of body, mind, and spirit, under the watchful, tender care of God. Let every longing that remains unspoken, every hope too delicate for words, every desire whispered only in the heart, be kept safely in your faithful hands, held through the night, protected as the soul drifts into quiet rest. The humble heart rests securely, the weary body surrenders fully, the mind softens completely, the soul remains embraced in God's gentle presence, in God's unfailing love, in God's perfect peace. Now, let sleep come without effort. Let trust flow without hesitation. Let the night hold all that is tender, all that is small, all that is precious, under the steady, gentle blessing of the one who hears the humble. The night is complete, the prayer fulfilled in calm surrender. The soul rests, the body rests, the heart rests, and peace remains, everlasting, ever gentle, ever true.